We are trucking right along. Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, Michael. How you doing? We are currently in South Carolina. So we are making our way. We are probably.
We're going to Florida.
We are. Thank you, Stella. We are about 2.5 hours away from Savannah in Georgia. So we're getting there. Cyberflyer, what's going on? Nice to see everybody. Welcome on in. Welcome to the evening drive on the Urban Disney Vacation. That has a nice ring to it. I kind of like that. I think that's what I'm going to label everything for this week.
Urban Family Vacation.
Urban Disney Vacation. I like it.
How about the family?
Hey, Costa Mom. So we are on 95. We lost about an hour in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Yay! But we're making up for it. So, Max, what's happening? Yeah, Max, we drove down from Massachusetts, so we're on our way. We're gonna be streaming from there tomorrow. So
we did not stop at South City Border.
No, we did not stop to see Pedro.
And
maybe on the way home, we'll see. Pedro at south of the border. If you ever drive and you are able to get to south of the border is right at the North Carolina, South Carolina line. And south of the border, their mascot is a guy called Pedro, and it's the worst tourist trap you're ever going to go to. Terrible gifts in the gift shop, bad t-shirts. They do have a
fabulous,
gigantic fireworks store there, though. It is absolutely gigantic. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Joseph. Welcome on in, everybody. Ian, how you doing? Nice to see everybody tonight. Thank you for stopping on in.
I want to know if anybody's ever had boiled peanuts.
Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate that. Producer Stephanie would like to know if anybody here has ever had boiled peanuts. Because if you've ever driven Route 95 South, you, hang on one second. You get to this point where...
Now you can see the pump.
Thanks. Yep. You get to a point where you start seeing signs for all sorts of crazy stuff on the side of the road. But boiled peanuts is, I don't know, it's like a delicacy, dare I call it, down here?
If you get them at like gas stations.
I mean, you can get it, yeah, you can get it like everywhere.
Specific boiled peanut places.
I've never had it. In all my trips down south anywhere, I've never had it. Oh, Ian says, not my favorite, but I'm a Westerner. All right, well, at least you've tried it. I've heard they boil it like shell and all, which is weird, but Sam, welcome in. Love the new name change, Sam. That is incredible. Sam, do you have a hockey game tonight?
Why, look at this is a spot.
That may be something I try to go and see. That may be something I try to go and see.
7 o'clock.
Ooh,
Thursday.
7 p.m. Awesome. Oh, cool.
Yeah, at night.
So I would say that. Hey, Emily. At some point between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, everybody should drop over to Sam's site
Florida, you know that.
Yeah.
just for a couple minutes, even if you're not into hockey, or if you are, maybe you'll stay and hang. Show them a little love. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are continuing on our adventure. Make sure you're, to Disney. Make sure you're hitting that like button as you come on in and subscribe. Well, only if you like the content that you see.
Tomorrow, Daddy's going to be driving us to Florida, and
Yeah.
then we'll be at Florida, and then he's going to do a live show out of Florida. Yeah.
Emily, I do also. I've done it so much. Hello, Costa Mom.
That's you.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We are on 95 South in South Carolina. We are making our way to the Georgia line right now.
We're making our way
So-
to Florida.
At some point tonight, I don't know when that point is going to be, but at some point tonight, we are going to be stopping just outside of the Disney World property. And we're going to be grabbing a room for the night. We should be close. We should be within an hour. We'll be somewhere between Daytona and Walt Disney World. And if you've ever driven that stretch before down I-4,
Make sure you get
you
your
all-
rest.
you all know that it's somewhere between an hour and about an hour and 20-minute ride, depending upon traffic and, how fast you're driving and stuff. So we're going to be stopping somewhere along that stretch. Originally, I had planned to stop short of Daytona, somewhere between like the Florida line and Daytona, which is not that long of a ride, really. But then the more and more I thought about it, I thought about trying to drive through the Daytona area on the day of the 500 at some point between, 8 and 9 a.m. and maybe 10 or 11 a.m. And I said, well, no matter what happens, I need to get down there and at least make the corner and hook myself onto I-4 a little bit to get beyond that, because even though it's a Sunday, which historically the traffic is typically pretty mild for that stretch of road, I am sure the Daytona area will be busy. And I feel, if you're around here, you're coming from the north, you would be driving right by where I'd be staying. So I didn't want to get caught in traffic and deal with all that after driving all these hours today. So we're going to get beyond Daytona and head towards Orlando. And somewhere along the way, we're just going to stop and find a room somewhere. We'll stop at, hopefully the first place we stop at has availability, but somewhere along the way will. I have no doubt about that. Yeah, Emily, so I see the whole get up at 3 and stay in the Tallahassee. That's typically we just drive straight through. So we can typically make it from our house to the resort, door to door, without stopping. And really, I don't think I'm driving like a maniac here. I'm in the right-hand lane. I'm moving along. People are passing me actually at quite a high rate of speed. But we will typically make it door to door in anywhere from 18 and a half to like 22 hours. So I do it all in one day. 18 hours is a little long, but it's like a long day at work. It's not much more than that. So I figure most days I get up at 5 in the morning, and I usually go to bed around 10 or 10:30 at night, and that's like 17 to 18 hours. So there's the drive. It's literally my waking hours. I just adjust the schedule to try to account for traffic in the heavy spots. New York, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Fredericksburg, because the last 5 years, every time we've driven through there, it's been a nightmare. And it was today. We lost like an hour, but it is what it is. So still got plenty of daylight here. We're doing pretty good. So many people live tonight, really? Well, me, Sam. I think CeeLo's going live in a little while.
But you'll be almost done before Sam goes on.
Yeah.
Because pretty soon it's going to be too dark for them.
Ooh, Ian, you got stuck in Kentucky NASCAR traffic? That is some nasty stuff. Absolutely. When my friends and I were younger and we were following the circuit, we got stuck in a lot of traffic at a lot of races. It was not fun. We figured out it was easier to just stay there, so that's what we started doing. Pull in, a day too early and leave either right after the race or the very next day early in the morning. Emily, I hear you. It happens. My mom's the same way. She'll go to visit my sister. It's like a 6.5 hour ride. It takes them like 8 to 9 hours. They stop. Oh, that's cool, Emily. That's a good way to do it. Costa Mom, you should live stream tonight. I agree with that. I am 100% on board. There is no doubt. This will definitely be a stream of an hour because I want to make sure I'm done because I actually want to go watch Sam. So, and maybe hook in to see if CeeLo or somebody else is doing stuff. I don't know who else is doing stuff. It's tough to watch when you're driving. But we are excited to bring you a little bit of Disney this week. Actually, the producer Stephanie, had a great idea where we may let the influencer have the second camera and have her join and go live and let her take you around and show you what it's like from her perspective. Kind of like what we do, what she looks at in the stores. We thought that might be kind of fun for you to see it from a child's height as opposed to an adult on a gimbal. That's nice and smooth, hopefully nice and smooth. Famous last words. It'll be the most jagged thing I've ever done.
Recording.
Ah, you like the producer's idea, huh? See, they like your idea. That's a good idea.
Cute. Well, because she loves to commentate on things.
She does love to commentate, and I'm sure she will. She will have her own little show for a little bit.
She keeps the camera facing out.
Yeah, we'll make sure the camera stays facing out. She is she practices her video making a lot. Matter of fact, I think she was making a video in the car before. Yes. Yeah. Please work, gimbal. Well, it's all charged up and ready to go. So let's just fingers crossed it doesn't break, doesn't fail. It's brand new. It should.
That thing
It's an Osmo 4.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You did our whole last trip with that.
I know.
That selfie stick.
That little selfie stick lasted the whole last trip up until, like, we got home. Like, one of the very last trips to the zoo, it actually broke. The selfie stick was a little, it was a little too narrow to hold the phone, and I was, truth be told, I was probably overstretching it a bunch because I don't take my phone out of the case. So the gimbal works nice. The gimbal is all, everything on there is all metal. So just wrap it around there. It's all magnetic. I got me a nice, an adjustable neck lanyard that I can cinch right up, which would be great. So hopefully, if I get on some rides where they don't allow the gimbal, I can take you guys off and I can either try the neck lanyard or maybe we'll just do it gorilla style. I'll just hold you guys in the palm of my hand while we get on some of these rides. I can only imagine that some of the roller coaster rides are probably going to be like that. So,
Daddy, I think we're gonna go on this trip.
you want to go on the spinning teacups? Do you know some of my viewers, that's their favorite ride, right, Coaster Mom, is the spinning teacups. They love that ride. From Alice in Wonderland. Hello, Sam Lowe. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Lee, what's happening? Green, not used to seeing that. Who's green? Oh, the grass.
Oh, the signs.
Yep, it is. There's a lot of green down here right now. It's not blooming yet, but you can feel it coming. Little swamp over there to the right. Oh, a lot of swamp. Wow, they cleared it right out.
Yeah, but now it's a big muck pond.
Wow, it is a big muck pond right now. It's interesting to see how much change has happened in less than a year, because we drove this in April, so we're a couple of months shy of a year, and to see some of the new buildings that have gone up, the ones that have been completed, they are doing, when I tell you, a ton of road work on the side of 95. It looks like they're doing an expansion project for a good stretch of it. I mean, they were clear cutting, leveling trees 100 feet back from the edge of the road, which is not typically normal vegetation upkeep for the side of a highway. So, I mean, unless they're doing something crazy and funky out here in North Carolina, which is entirely possible, there's an incredible amount of construction going on. And once you drive a route so much, you start to remember bits and pieces. Like there are a couple of bridges and overpasses we go over in Georgia, and I go, okay, I know if I go this fast from this point, I can make it there in this amount of time, provided there's no holdups. And, you know, look at my gas. I go, okay, I've got this much gas. I need to go this far. I should be able to make it. But that's, I mean, you're talking, this is decades, literally decades of doing this. So it's interesting, though, to see a lot of the landscape changing as we drive. You know, they're clearing sporadically, and who knows what's going in. I assume it's probably housing or something, but they are clearing large swaths of land on the side of the highway. Like going back 500-600 yards off the road. I mean, just clear cutting it right down to the mud. Lee says he's never going back on the teacups again. His daughter took him on there once.
Wait, what?
Stephanie doesn't typically like to do it either.
Well, you should try it. It's so fun.
Usually what happens on that ride is if the producer gets in a teacup, it doesn't move very much. So usually me and the influencer go, and the producer takes pictures. Yeah, that's you.
Or you can call me Belle for short, because my mommy and daddy always call me Belle.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, we're in for a treat this week. So we usually spin it around pretty fast. She loves it. Then she tells me to stop, and if you know anything about those teacups, they just don't stop on a dime. So
Oh, stop. Turn this way.
hands get calloused, rubbed raw, trying to stop the thing. Then you reverse it. You pull a bicep muscle, or you're in the teacup all by yourself in the greatest pose in the entire world. That is the epitome of what Disney was at the time. And it's so strange because so now this will be essentially the third time in a year, right, for you and I. And it's funny to see the crowds grow because when we went in April, we were like, you know, COVID was still sort of in full swing and there were a lot of measures in place and the parks were restricted to 35% capacity at that point.
Masks everywhere.
Yeah, there was mask wearing all over the place. And then we go back in July, and in July, it was estimated that the parks were operating at somewhere between 50 and 70%. And it was noticeable. Some of the mask restrictions had been lifted where you were able to walk and drink at that point. So we had gone and hit on that food and wine like you guys had saw. And now to go back, and since they've really, for all intents and purposes, Disney has almost eliminated mask wearing everywhere, with the exception of where transportation and I think indoor in the queue line still are the only places. But everywhere else, it's like your mask can come off now. You don't have to wear one. So I think that's what pushed a lot of people to make final plans to come down this week, because up until I would say the early part of last week, there were still reservations available. And then since what was it, Tuesday, when they made their mask policy update announcement, everything has become almost impossible to get. They've really in a sort of not underhanded, but not really being upfront way, and kind of they kind of slight the annual pass holders in a way, because they've essentially taken a lot of the annual pass holder availability and they shifted it over to their reservation availability. So while they're not going to have any more people in the park, they've taken it out of one pot and put it into another. Obviously, there must be a need there, but if you're an annual pass holder and you are undecided on what to do, say, on this long weekend, because not everybody, but most people have Monday off because it is a holiday for most of the United States, right? So, if you were undecided to do something with your Monday, and now all of a sudden, now you decide, hey, we want to go to Disney World. Now you're talking that you don't, now you don't have that option because they've taken your slot away and given it to a non-annual pass holder, which is, I don't know, to me it's incredible to do that to the annual pass holders who, by and large, spend more money across the year than your average traveler, even like me, right? Your annual pass holder has got to be spending more money over the course of a year, especially if they're a local, what they consider local. Now, the per person dollar per visit, I am sure, is drastically different, because the per person dollar is going to be higher for those of us that are either going once or twice a year, or maybe just once in a lifetime or something. We are going to go and spend vast amounts of money in a very short period while we're there. And I think Disney is focused on that statistic more so than taking care of those with annual passes. And I think that's, it's a rub in the wrong direction. First of all, it's a rub against the annual pass holders who, if you want the, what is it, the Magic Experience or Phantasmic Pass, whatever their top level is, that thing's something ridiculous. What is it, $1,800 or something like that? $1,600. It's stupid expensive. But if you want no blackout dates because you're a local, that's really the only way to go. That's the only way to go. And now you've spent all that money to have the ability to just kind of pick and choose a date, which you should be able to do when you're spending that much money. And now they've taken it away because they want per person money per day to be high as opposed to long term. So it's really kind of it's a wacky dynamic that they're dabbling in. And I don't know. I mean, they're not even selling annual passes now. Annual passes, they were put on hold because of COVID. They retooled them. They started selling them again. They sold so many, they stopped the program, which they didn't really have to. They could have just kept selling annual passes. A lot of people let them lapse during COVID because nobody really knew. Nobody really knew how long it was going to be. So, like us, we let ours expire. We weren't sure when we were going to get back down there. So now you get all these people looking to get passes back, and then new people who've never had them that want them now. They stop selling them. So that does a couple things. One, it obviously helps you control population because you're limiting people that have tickets all the time. But two, actually, it's going to drive the price of your annual pass up because the supply is now limited, which will by nature warrant a higher price, right? So if you go to the store and there's Coca-Cola available or Pepsi available all the time, it doesn't cost very much. But now if they limit that supply and people are buying it up left and right, and then Coke and Pepsi decide to not put any more of their product out, well, then what's available becomes more valued. So now what can happen is when Coke and Pepsi finally decide to redistribute, now they can ask for a higher price, even though it's not anymore. So, Patriotism USA, welcome in, sir, or ma'am, whomever you may be. Thanks for joining in on the stream. Hope you hang out for a little bit. We will be at the Springs for a little bit. We are hoping maybe to meet up with some other people that we know there, but we're not really sure how schedules are working out yet. It was just an idea that was tossed out. We're going to do a little resort exploring tomorrow. And then on Monday, we're going to kick things off with an all-day stream of the final day of the Art Festival at Epcot, which is the prime reason why we extended our vacation a couple of days, was so we could catch the last day of that festival. Oh, well, hello, Everett. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Surf Bum, what's going on? What's going on, man? Yeah, it's still light out over here. So we are on 95. We are in South Carolina. We're going to be getting close to the Georgia line at this point. So it's incredible, isn't it? So like where we live up in the Northeast, it's dark up there now. We know it is.
It's been dark for an hour.
It's probably been dark for the better part of an hour. But we are so far inland, even though we're running pretty much along the coast, that it's still light here, even though we're in the same time zone. It's weird. It is a wacky dynamic. When I watch streams from down here in Florida, it's like, 5 o'clock, it's dark at my house, and it's like 6:15, and people are in parks, and it's still daylight. I'm like, man, that's what happens when you're a few hundred miles more inland.
It's going to be summer at this point.
Any cheese like the Big E? Is that what that is? Is that a cheese?
Cheese backpack.
I don't know if they have cheese. I'm hoping they must have cheese. Usually at the arts festival, usually all these festivals now, they have cheese. Hey, Tiffany. Hello, Christine. Car riding's going good. We took our van, so on top of the Tesla, we have a 2022 Chrysler Pacifica. It rides great. It replaced our Town and Country that we just got rid of. So usually we've taken the van. This gives a comfortable ride. So this is the first real road trip. We're putting some miles on it.
Double the miles on my baby car.
Yeah, double the miles. Her car will catch up to my mileage. So you guys know I bought a new car, right? You guys have seen it. I put in the first 3.5, almost 4 weeks I owned it. So let me see. I was like 18. So I was 5 days short of a full month. So in like 25 days, I put on 22, almost 2,300 miles in 25 days of owning my Tesla. So I more than doubled the mileage, really, from when I picked it up. Done a lot of driving in that car. It rides nice. It's really like, there's the peanut sign. It is kind of small for what we do for this. Not that we have a lot of stuff, but the bags are kind of big and awkward. You know, we have our camping potty with us in case we have to pull over to the side of the road. You know, we got a snack bag. So there's a lot going on. And some of the stuff that we would need, we'd have to separate between the trunk and the frunk. And that would be difficult to get at some of that stuff while we're traveling. Whereas in the van, if we need it, Stephanie can just kind of unbuckle, hop in the back, do what she needs to do, come back up front, settle in, and rebuckle. So it's the van's definitely more convenient. Gas is costing about what we figured. Our fills are costing us right around $55 to $60 a fill. And the gas mileage in the van is pretty good. It's about 26 miles to the gallon. So for a bigger vehicle, it's doing well. Yeah, we'll have to get an oil change once we get back. Hey, you know what doesn't need an oil change? My Tesla.
No, but this wouldn't happen in the Tesla.
Yep. Yep.
You know who has all 4 of her hubcaps?
That's right. You did not lose a hubcap off the Tesla like I did, which went missing. I hit a bump and it popped off, and MIA. I got to order another one. Help streamline the car. They are aerodynamic hubcaps made specifically for Tesla and Tesla vehicles to help them be more efficient. And I lost one the other day. So that's interesting. All right. So hopefully, for those of you just joining, hopefully later on tonight, after this stream ends, we will be at some point between now and, I don't know, 11 o'clock tonight, we should be anyways, if not there, within an hour of being there, we're going to get a room somewhere just outside the gates just for tonight, because we don't check in till tomorrow. So that'll put us close. We're going to get by the Daytona area tonight for sure, just so we don't have to deal with the 500 madness tomorrow. Speaking of the 500, if you want to check out some very cool Daytona 500 coverage, go over to On The Go with CeeLo and check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. He's got some great content. He got some really cool passes that take him down into the middle of the racetrack and down along the pits and stuff. So he's got some really cool videos up right now. It's nice to see a different perspective than what you see on the TV, where the cars are just doing, 160 miles an hour making left-hand turns. They're still making the left-hand turns, but now you're seeing it. A lot of his videos from like the other side of the car. So it's kind of neat to see what goes on down there too. So go check him out. Give him a little love. And our guy, Sam Welb, Sam Welby 12, the experience, which I love. I love his new name. He's got a hockey game he's calling tonight at 7. Costa Mom said that there were a bunch of other people streaming right now. So, you know what? You get some time, feel free, hop around, check them out. Oh, go get them. See you later. Because I know how fast I'm going. That means you're going way faster than me.
To stop.
Only to hit the brakes. Happens a lot.
They didn't watch that Mythbusters.
No. You guys ever watch the Mythbusters?
What's
It says
that?
going at a steady pace instead of speeding up and weaving in and out of traffic.
Actually gets you there.
Gets you there actually quicker.
by about 5 or 6 minutes.
Yep.
Like, I never watched that.
No,
So,
it's an old show.
yeah, so that's where we're at. I would say that at some point tomorrow morning, during breakfast, I am going to create a couple of times for tomorrow's streaming stuff.
We're going
We are going to get up, have some breakfast, go check in. We're going to explore and enjoy the resort a little bit first. And then we will we'll flip on the camera, and I'll probably do, well, maybe I'll just do one long stream tomorrow where I take you on a tour of the resort, and then we'll hop on a bus and head right over to Disney Springs, or maybe we'll Uber. We haven't really decided yet. Uber is convenient, even though it costs you a few bucks, and really, it's depending upon the time you pick. It's a few small dollars to have your own private ride that gets you there way faster than a bus. So we'll figure that out in the morning. Depends upon how long their wait times are. So Shades of Green, where we're staying, has dedicated bus service to and from the resort to all the parks. So that means that when we get up, if we take a bus from there to go somewhere, that bus is only going right to there. It's not making stops at other resorts. It's not going to other parks to drop people off. It's not stopping at the water parks. None of that stuff. It is picking you up. It is going straight there and then coming straight back, which is kind of nice, because if you've ever been to Disney World, sometimes, especially in the off times, not so much at night. Usually when the park's opening and closing, Disney's pretty good about having dedicated busing that runs, for the most part, directly from wherever you are to your resort. But sometimes during the middle of the day,
Those dang Blizzard Beach and Typhoon
you'll catch a bus that will have to make a stop at like Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon. Sometimes the All-Star buses, depending upon staffing and demand, will actually go to like 2 of the All-Star resorts. All-Star, let me recall, All-Star Movies, I believe, is the only one where they don't do that. So sometimes if I'm remembering right, sometimes you'll catch a bus during the day that will, on the return trip, pull into All-Star Sports and then All-Star Music, and it'll make 2 stops, So if you're on the second stop, you got to wait a little longer. Octavia, welcome in. Hello, nice to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Make sure you have hit that like button. If you get a chance, swing on over to my page if you have not subscribed already, and check out my content. And if you like it, hit the subscribe button. If you hit that bell, you'll get notified when we go live this week, every time we're in a Disney park. And we will probably be doing 2 lives a day. We're going to do 2 short lives a day. One from whatever park we're in the first half of the day. And then most nights we have a plan right now to end at Epcot. Of course, that is subject to change. So we will get to see the new Harmonious live for a couple of nights, which is great, because that's the one show I have not seen yet. that Disney Forever was the last show I saw. So this will be a great experience. Trying to figure out where the best place is to go and view it from, because it does not appear to be the UK anymore, which was my favorite spot to view it from. But in order to have a really good view, it seems like it's going to be somewhere up near the American Pavilion.
Hey, Bill. Can mommy borrow this?
Yeah.
Nicholas, what's happening, my man? Hello. Nice to see you, Nick.
What is with the Walt Disney?
So Chazaku 3.0, he is one of my former students when I taught high school. Nick's a good kid. So if you want to send a little love to him, go over and check out his YouTube page. He's into all kinds of cool stuff. Nicholas, I hope you're enjoying your school vacation this week. Hopefully it's a well-deserved break and your year's going okay. All right, it is 6:40, so I have given you the update. Wow, look at how good that looks. I cannot... Oh, StreamYards is actually doing pretty good at speed, all things considered. Right, wouldn't you say?
Not too laggy.
No. And so what I find amazing is the light, the way you're seeing on the screen, our headlights do not look that bright in person.
No.
I mean, they're bright, but they're not lighting up the road like you're seeing. So this camera is definitely doing way better with exposure and low lighting than my eyeballs are doing in reality. Oh, this pavement's terrible. Listen to that noise. All that road, yeah, it's all the road noise from the pavement. Oh, and there it is. It changed. Excellent.
What are you looking at, Bill?
All right. Andrea A, welcome in. What's up? What's up? So those of you just kind of popping in and out, if you missed it, Sam's got a stream in like 20 minutes. So we're going to go over and check him out. I'm going to wrap my stuff up right now so I can get ready to go and check him out. Thanks for being here. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. We will put up the link in the Discord if you are part of that Discord. If you are not, that's okay, because you're not going to miss out. Just make sure that you have the little bell clicked, and when I go live tomorrow, you will be able to join us. And if we are lucky, we will have a couple of special guests with us. So we're working an angle, and hopefully it'll work out. We'll see if that pans out tomorrow. We're going to give you a quick resort tour of Shades of Green. And then we are going to either Uber or hop some Disney transportation and head on over to Disney Springs. And we are going to enjoy the sights, sounds, and tastes of everything Disney Springs has to offer. So make sure that
No, that's closed, baby.
make sure that you've got either the notifications on, or if you're in the Discord, you get on over and just watch for the link. And without further ado, in 17 minutes, please go over and check out Sam. Give him a little love. And if you see anybody else on, CeeLo, Seven, maybe Spain, if she's gonna fire up her camera. I don't know who else is out there streaming. I heard the Rope Drop may be having an after dark as well. So a lot of stuff moving and shaking tonight. But for now, from the Urban Disney Vacation, from the Sean Urban YouTube channel, thank everybody for being here. We will see you all tomorrow for fun and adventures. Where?
To Disney World.
To Disney World. We'll see everybody later.
We'll see
Have
you
a
on
great night.
Sadie's
Thank you, everybody.
Green.
Make sure you hit that like and you've subscribed. See ya.
We're gonna ring that bell.